What's up, everyone? Let's build some cash game lineups on DraftKings for UFC Vegas 109. Your main event is Roman Dolidze, Anthony Hernandez. Do you need it in cash games? Do you need to stack it? What are your other options? Let's talk about it. Smash that like button and let's get right to it. All right, first thing actually to point out on this card, I'm going to sort by fights real quick. First thing to point out, your mid-range fight is Mechanical Brundage. I point, and then after that, it's Hill Lucindo, and this is by odds. The reason I point that out, which I don't every week, is that fight, it's minus 172. The next closest fight, Hill and Lucindo, minus 175. After that, there's no other fights that's minus 100 or better. Everything's minus 200 odds, and this is closed a little bit towards a Hill. Betway still has minus 200, but you have very wide odds this week. That makes cash game lineups harder. It really means that this week in particular, even when you're fumbling around the mid-range, sometimes you get a bunch of pick'em fights. I think you're only playing 2 underdogs in cash, and that's about it. That is kind of point number 1 for this week, even ahead of the cash game situation. I think it's 2 dogs. Sometimes you can go 3 and play in the mid-range. This week, I wouldn't play in the mid-range too much. 2 dogs, 4 favorites. Main event, Hernandez Dolidze. Do we stack it? Well, your over 3.5 rounds is minus 130. It's kind of a right borderline. You can stack this. If you hate all the other, or you could play Dolidze solo. Honestly, you can do anything you want with the main event. Reason being, I know it's a really weird thing to say. Do you stack it? Well, anything you want. It kind of depends your breakdown on the fight. I think they're all fine options. If you like Dolidze, one of your 2 dogs, go ahead and run them. If you like Hernandez, run them. If you want to stack, I think it's okay. It's not a lock them in cash game, stack situation. Personally, I like other dogs ahead of Roman Dolidze, but I'm talking strategy in general, odds. You can stack this fight. I went through the fight breakdowns. If you want those, check out that video. That's not this show. This is just how do you build on DraftKings. So you're actually not starting with the main event this week. Where you need to start is with those underdogs I kind of alluded to earlier. Going to play 4 dogs. Who are viable? Who can you cross off right away? Right away, Cerquera, Kazama, Osborne, Urbina, Stolyarenko, Feely, all gone. That means of your dogs, you have Hill, Johns, Cachoeira, Anders. I feel like I skipped somebody. I wouldn't play Mecanico either. Fuck that. As a GPP fight. So you have Hill, you have Johns, you have Cachoeira. Oh, Dolidze. Cachoeira, Dolidze, Anders. So of those 12 underdogs, we've knocked 7 off the board. Of those 5, you need to pick your favorite 2. For me, if I was ranking them, I think the bottom of my list is probably Angela Hill because she's the most expensive at plus 150. And then after that, Priscilla is borderline GPP. Like I know the odds are there, and the reason I say that we pull up Priscilla Cachoeira here, she's plus 280. The fight is still minus 180 to go over 2.5 rounds. Whereas on the other hand, and for what it's worth, the Dolidze fight, this is minus 210. So it's right kind of in that ballpark. And that's what you're going to look at for these other fights. Wanted to pull up. Here's my boy, Miles Johns. Over 2.5 rounds, minus 275. This is the biggest number. And I think he's live in this fight. You can see it in the cash break in the breakdown show. Miles Johns is who first one I'm putting in cash games. And then after that, you're going to have to pay way down towards the bottom. The cheapest I mentioned, it's Eric Anders. Christian Leroy Duncan, dynamic striker, but Anders is difficult to finish. Plus 340, minus 185 over 2.5 rounds. Sign me up. This opens up so much value, and I'll go over the other options in a second. But now you get 8,800 average for 4 fighters. You still need to be kind of paying down here. For me, I'm going to play Fluffy Hernandez. Volume's crazy. I don't think Dolidze is going to finish him. I think you want to look more than past just a simple floor at 8,700, but I think there's big upside there as well. Still got to get under here, and it kind of comes down to what are you going to do up in this top range? Because of the way the salaries are, I don't think you have enough to jam in two of these large favorites. And Duncan, I said I'm on the under side, obviously. Walker, Smith, Ursig. I'm okay with any of these options. I think you really start with one of them here. Say you go with Julius Walker because Sequeira, I think, is the worst fighter on the roster, pretty much, period. And then you can go, do you like Lucindo, Jocelyn Edwards? Actually, you're still down in this region here. I think Lucindo is fine. The odds are closing up a little bit. Is it my favorite? Probably not, but then you can go Lucindo and then Eros, Medic, Gabriel Fernandez. I probably would lean Medic here in this build. I think that's fine. If I don't play Walker, you get a little bit more here, and you can go Elijah Smith. Does that open up anything else for you? Go Elijah Smith and Ursig. Can't quite get there. I was seeing if you could do two of the 9K fighters. What you would probably have to do if you wanted to go this route, and again, I think this is also fine, even though I really like Miles Johns. If you wanted to stack, said I would do that earlier. If you want to stack, I think you go Hernandez, Dolidze, Anders, and then load up with two of the 9K guys, Smith and Ursig. You could go Ursig and Walker if you really want, and then put in your favorite of Rodriguez, Lucindo with this last spot. Probably lean slightly towards Christian Rodriguez here. So you kind of get the idea of what we're looking to build. 2 dogs, 1 pay up, and then your 3 favorite in that range that fit. That's the general strategy this week. Any variation of that is a very difficult cash game week, I think, is fine. Asking me to build my favorite, which is what we'll close the show out with here. Let me go back. It is pretty similar to what I've been doing most of the show. I'll go Anders and Johns. Then, God, this gets so hard with Walker, Smith, Ursig. It's all kind of just shit show dumpster fire. I like Anthony Hernandez a lot in the spot. I am going to go there. Then I would probably next up 88.6 is killing me. Basically, this means I have to roster at least one fighter under 8,800. That's just how averages work, boys and girls. If I were to go, probably lean towards Christian Rodriguez. Then I got 9,100. I really wish I could get like Ursig and Smith. If I go Lucindo, can I get Ursig and Smith? You still can't. You're Ursig and Duncan. That's so frustrating. I don't want to go from, you could, again, another option I'm throwing at you guys. If you want to go, instead of Johns, you want to go Priscilla and then pay up and get Ursig and Smith. This is a solid option. I'm really looking at this one pretty solidly right now. I don't get my favorite dog in Miles Johns, but I get 2 live ones, in my opinion, in Priscilla and Anders. My lean in the Lucindo Hill fight, and then can pay up. I like this quite a bit. Let's call this your first option. Going back to where I wanted to go earlier, though. I take out Lucindo, I can take out Ursig too. Probably am looking at, God, this is really minus 175. Actually, God, I don't like it. Go Brundage and a pay up, because minus 175 for 8,200 is actually really good odds value. Now that I say it and look at it, this is the other option. 8,200 minus 170. As much as I hate Cody Brundage and don't trust him, that's odds value. And I think that's something I overlooked until I was building I think you almost have to go here for odds value, and it's scary. But then you get John's favorite, Anders Brundage, 9,200. I think Ursig and Smith, or if you don't like Smith because he's a little green, you want to go Julius Walker and somewhere pay down. I think all those are fine options, scary options, but I think actually, walking through it and building, it's why I do these. They're helpful for me too. I think this is where you end up as one of my favorite cash builds, but kind of walk you through the process. You have a couple options and different decision points. Hit some of the key points. Hope you guys like these shows. Do me a favor, smash the like button, comment with what you think you're leaning towards. I got a GPP show tomorrow. We'll knock that out. Good luck in those comments and in those contests, unless you were taking my head-to-head. See you next time.